recommend products, push them to buy products, and also give you insights on what's wrong with your business, what's great about your business, all this kind of stuff.
And I want a good show, damn it. Ready for a good show?
Doing awesome, yeah. I'm excited to talk to you, Angie. Thank you for having me.
Yes!
I've always been doing big into archery, and my dad said, hey, you guys want to start an archery store?
That's how I always
Yes, of course, let's do this together.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the E-Comm Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the E-Comm Show. I'm your host, as usual, Andrew Maff, and today I'm joined by Ruslan Leteyski of the CEO of Zipchat AI. Ruslan, how you doing? You ready for a good show?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for inviting me here, and I'm really excited to talk to you.
Yeah, super excited to have you on the show. Obviously, the world of AI is constantly growing, and it is sometimes overwhelming. So it's always nice to have someone on the show to clear it up a little bit. I'd love to do the usual here and give you an opportunity, let everyone know where they can teach us a little bit about your background and a little bit more about Zipchat, and we'll take it from there. Okay.
Yeah, perfect. So I started out in software. I worked as a product designer for a couple of years, and then I moved into e-commerce by building my own dropshipping store back in the days where you could dropship stuff from AliExpress.
Nice.
And sell on Facebook. Good days, right? I'm with a background in software, so I was thinking, instead of competing with all these amazing entrepreneurs that were beating the shit out of me in Facebook ads, I thought maybe I can actually help them be better and start building software for Shopify and for e-commerce stores. And this is how my journey in Shopify apps and e-commerce tools started, probably like 7 years ago. And over the years, I've built a couple of products. I've built a company called CheckoutX, which was one of the biggest alternative checkouts for Shopify. Then I built another company called Vanga AI, which was doing automated upselling based on algorithms and this kind of stuff, which I sold. And now I'm working on Zipchat AI, which is basically AI chat for your store. And I'm really excited about it because now we have the technology to actually do something that you were never able to do before on a store, and that is talk to your customers. Yeah. Like if you go back to like the physical stores, when you're in the store, like customers come in, they ask around, they have questions, you can talk to them and you can understand your business and your customers and all these kind of things. Where on an online store, you just seen some numbers on an analytics dashboard somewhere, and you have no idea. Like you only see a conversion rate, but that's no context. You don't know why people left, like why people bought this instead of this, or like if they had any questions, or if your website is broken, all these kind of stuff. And here Zipchat can do that at scale for you. Like Zipchat can talk to any of your customers real time in a human-like conversation, help them out, recommend products, push them to buy products, and also give you insights on what's wrong with your business, what's great about your business, all this kind of stuff.
So is it essentially kind of giving you insight into the business by pulling data out of, let's say, Shopify, or is this more like customer facing and it's kind of just providing them insight into the product line? Like where's all that data coming from? How's that aspect work?
Yeah, Zipchat is a chat, right? So like it's a chat bubble, like any other chat bubble, and you can click it and talk to the website basically. It's simple as that, but the magic of this is it's like a blank slate for any customer, so they can ask anything, they can say anything. And this is where the data comes in. So it's not data that you have on the dashboard of Shopify. It's data that customers will willingly provide by themselves, like zero party data. It's like, hey, is this product made in the US? Or like, hey, like, how do you ship somewhere? Or hey, like, I have this problem, all this kind of stuff. So it's all kind of like metadata that you would learn by talking on the phone with your customers that you cannot measure on an analytics or like on the CRM or somewhere else.
Okay, so let's take one of the examples you just said, right? Like someone asking like, hey, is this product made in the US? What if that information isn't on the website anywhere? What happens? Like, how does the Zipchat actually, does it like kind of alert you that someone's asking a question, doesn't know the answer to, or does it guess? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so the difference between ChatGPT, right, and Zipchat is that Zipchat is trained to first it's sandboxed on the information about your brand, and it's also trained to be a little bit like a sales clerk, right? Mm-hmm. So what it's going to do is if it doesn't have the information, obviously it's going to tell you, I don't have the information. It's not going to bullshit you, but it's going to spin it in a way where it's going to be like, hey, I can like transfer this to our colleagues, or you can contact us in this way, yada, yada, yada. And what's really special about Zipchat is that you can train it in a way that you train your employees, right? So if some information is not available on the store, then what you can do is you can go and provide corrections, and you can say, oh well, like you shouldn't answer to this question like this, you should answer like this, and then Zipchat is going to remember that and is going to replicate it for all the further conversations on top of that. And what we've built is really cool, is the ability for your own customers to rate the replies, so you can see which replies are really great, and you can also see which replies are bad, and you can focus on those and like clearing them out and say, okay, this is what the response should look like, all this kind of stuff.
Wow. So that's very interesting. So the one of the things I'm thinking here, so it's pulling in all this data, it's talking to your customers, it's obviously speaking to them as, you know, kind of like as a lot of people would know as ChatGPT, where it's very like, you know, sounds like a person for the most part. I immediately, when I think of like chatbots on websites, sometimes I think of like let's say ManyChat, right, where it's just kind of like an if-then statement. They select a button and it kind of just takes them down a rabbit hole. Can you explain the differences between that and then obviously in this scenario where it sounds more like a person and it's actually AI as opposed to if-then statements?
Yeah, so this is why we don't want to say chatbots at all, because people imagine like the previous generation of chatbots, where it was basically an interactive, you know, flow. And the problem with that is, you know, Zipchat works great for the long tail, right? So visually, if you open a website, you should be able to see like the most important things, like the main question you have. But then you have a long tail of potential questions that are different for every customer, and you cannot build that into the main user experience of the website. And people don't want to search, right? So maybe you have an FAQ page somewhere, or you have like a delivery page. Yeah. People are not going to browse around. Like they see a product, like they click on an ad, they see a product, and they say, okay, I want this. And then I have one or two questions that are specific to my case, right? It can be a product question, it can be a geographical question, it can be something else. So the difference is you can ask anything and you can have a free-flowing conversation. And that's very different than what you used to have with the past generation of chatbots, where you had to click and you would get lost, basically. It was a really low throughput way to interact with the brand, where with Zipchat, you can, again, ask specifically what you want. So I think that's the main difference between like ManyChat, maybe. I don't know what they're doing right now. Maybe they're also moving into that direction.
Who knows? All right, cool. So it's pretty. So would you say? So you mentioned it kind of acts as like a little bit of a sales representative. It's also kind of on a customer service side. Do you find most people are using this from a customer service perspective, or are they using it to kind of help from like an upsell side of things when someone's kind of interacting with it?
You know, originally everybody thinks we were doing customer support, but 75% of our customers say they want Zipchat to increase their sales. Yeah. And what we're seeing is that you're still going to have most of the tickets besides maybe like, where is my order? Because we can look into the orders and like answer that for you. But many of the support tickets, they're like, they require someone to figure out what happened, right? If everything went as planned, then it wouldn't there wouldn't be a conversation. But what Zipchat does is actually increases the amount of conversation you can have with your customers. So you have way more brands. And what we see is that customers that talk to our chat are 3 times more likely to convert compared to the ones that don't. So the ones that ask questions, they usually, like, first, it's because of the chat, right? Because they get answered questions. But second, like, the people that have questions actually are interested in the product. So like, it takes a little bit for them to be converted. And these are like the most high value leads you can have on your website.
That definitely makes a lot of sense. Because I mean, you would think someone who's interactive, they're asking additional questions, there's a good chance they're going to be most likely to respond and most likely to convert. So from a perspective of that leaning more towards the sales, the upsell side, there is still obviously, I'm sure, like a customer service element aspect to it. Like you just mentioned of like, hey, where's my order? That kind of stuff. What's the thought on how that affects customer service teams? Like, how are customer service teams leveraging this? Is it kind of like they're the ones monitoring how it's responding and then they just help as needed?
Yeah, we try to work together with customer service teams, because again, like if it's a more complex issue, we forward the request to them. We actually have this forward request functionality where Zipchat will say, okay, I'm up to here, give me your email, I'll send it to like the real support. Basically escalating to level 2. So the way we work with them is we give them more time to actually take care of actual cases instead of responding to like someone being lazy, right? And also, like it depends on the brand, right? We have some brands that they don't just do support, they do sales, right? So they want the brand to call them, the customer to call them. So we can program the chat, and you can program it with words to be like a little bit trying to catch you, to give your phone number, or like to schedule a call, or this kind of stuff. This is what we do on our website. Once you start talking to the chat, we don't want it to be too useful. Like, we instruct it in a way to push it to book a demo with us, because we want to like talk to our sales agent and to do this. So it's some kind of, you can imagine it like us as a hype man, like somewhere that's going to bring you in the store, it's going to tell you 1 or more 2 things. It's either going to direct you to the product, or it's going to push you to the sales person that's going to actually do the sale. It really depends on the case, but because you can program it with words, you can really have different behavior based on the brand and the business process behind it.
So being able to program it with certain words, so like kind of to that point, I know a lot of people who are just like, I don't want to talk to a robot, give me a person, that kind of thing. I know through chat, and specifically for AI stuff, it's very difficult to kind of tell who's a robot, who's not. But how does that kind of get approached? How does that get escalated to like, oh, this is a person that, or I want to escalate this to a person as opposed to dealing with the chat?
Yeah, so first of all, majority of the people don't understand they're talking to the chat, to a chat AI instead of a support agent. Like, we see so many messages like, oh my God, how are you answering so fast at this time of day? Like, you guys are the best brand. It's hilarious, right? But it really depends as a brand, like how you want to position the chat. So you can say, okay, I'm a chat assistant, I can transfer you to a human, or you can make it to be more human-like, to act like as a level 1 representative. And depending on that, it's going to answer in a way where it's saying, okay, I don't have information about this, let me forward your request, or please call this number so you can get this done, right? So it's very similar. Like, bigger brands, they do the same thing, right? Like, they have level 1 and they're like, I don't know, like, let me escalate that to level 2 or level 3 support agent.
AI is crazy. It's blowing my mind on the amount of stuff that like can come. It's like all the things that are coming out of AI. Like, obviously you've created this awesome app. Where are we headed? right? Like, where are you headed with Zipchat? Where do you think AI is headed? Like, at this point, I know it's not, you know, if-then statements, which some people, they'll slap an AI label on it and it's just an if-then statement. But like for where AI is headed between your company, Zipchat, and where you think it's going in the future, like, what are your thoughts on that?
First, I'm going to do like a super bold statement so you can laugh at me like in 2 years. But I think we can challenge Klaviyo in converse, like in marketing automation. Because the way you do marketing automation is super old school. And now you can actually have a real conversation, unique conversation with each one of your customers. And this totally changes the game. Not only on the website, but before purchase, after purchase, different channels. I don't think people in the future will be sending like email campaigns the way they're done now. It's going to be tailored messages, probably direct messages at the right time for the right customer. And I think we are in a good position to push into that direction. For example, something we're trying to figure out and we're experimenting with is when you're talking to the chat, like how can we send real-time events to some kind of marketing automation machine and new type of events that are not possible right now. For example, product looking, this email or this phone number is looking for a specific type of product, or he's looking for a discount, or is, I don't know, like needs a little bit of pushing, or new type of events that are not possible because the current first event you get is like abandoned cart, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like people are not going to shop like they used to shop before. People will shop in conversation. They would want more tailored messaging. They would want more tailored products, and the brands would be dynamic. They won't be static as they are right now.
So you're right. That is very interesting. So in terms of challenging Klaviyo, so you're thinking like it's going to get to a point where emails will get triggered automatically based on things that we can't even picture because it's not a property within Klaviyo, or SMS is going to get triggered because the AI knows that not only is this person looking around, but maybe they need a little bit more of a push, and that's not really a property that you can put within like Klaviyo or something. So it's going to take some of the nuanced information and then be able to automatically kick out like email campaigns, SMS, that kind of stuff.
Exactly, yeah. So nuance is a very good word. You know, like generative AI in general, it can capture nuance, and this will unlock a whole new universe of possibilities.
That's crazy. So I mean, I would imagine one of the issues with that is like, how do you keep that from like over communicating with them, right? Because I know like marketers are notorious for ruining everything. I'm one of them. I get it. I know it. So like if I had the power of AI to just be like, all right, I'm going to hook this thing up. I'm going to teach it what I want it to do, give it some of the brand guidelines, that kind of stuff. And it's just going to kick out emails and SMS and all this fun stuff as I need it. Marketers are just going to be like, do it all the time until it like, and just consistently message them until they're ready to purchase, like that kind of thing. Like, how are you going to keep that from getting too over the top where you're just over communicating with someone?
Honestly, I don't know. Look, like we're very early. We're still an AI chat bubble for your store.
Yeah.
So the first realization we are having, and I think many other solutions in our vertical will have, is this is not a support tool. This is a marketing tool, right?
Yeah.
And then like, how can we do marketing automation with that? And once we figure that, then we're going to figure out, okay, how do we not get, don't overdo it. But I think more power to the brands. Like with Klaviyo, you can spam as much as you want, but like people are going to hate your brand afterwards, and you're going to get, flag the spam and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know how marketers are going to approach that. Our goal is to figure out new tools so you and like all the other marketers out there can experiment with, and at the end create, not only sell more, but create cooler brand experience, right? Because at the end of the day, we're in the era where branding is everything. People buy the story, people like a brand, they pick a team when they pick a brand, and this is why they buy your probably overpriced product. Because like, like in the world of Temu and Amazon, almost everything is overpriced, right?
Yeah.
So like the people, why the reason people buy more expensive products is because they're either they have higher quality and a better brand and a better brand story, and we want to help you elevate that.
That's awesome. Obviously, you're having all these conversations with, different customers. It's giving you, obviously, I know there's like transcripts and all that basic stuff, but like, what about from a reporting side? Is there any reporting that's supplied that, gives deeper insight into like, I don't know, customer sentiment or something like that?
So right now, what you can do is you can like see all your conversations. You can see what kind of the conversations had like bad replies, good replies. You can see where your customers are starting the chats from. So you can see that. You can see what percentage of your orders and which orders in particular had a chat conversation, and like see a map of what people talked about and what they bought and all this kind of stuff. And something else we're cooking is actually reporting on like the nuance and like basically data mining your own stuff. Because right now you can look at your chats, but the next level is to get like the synthesis, like fix this and this on your website and you're going to sell more, or like add this to your marketing message and you're going to sell more, and this kind of stuff.
It's pretty crazy. That's awesome. That's going to be very excited to see where AI goes over the next couple of years, especially if you think it's going to go where it goes. So in 2 years, if we're doing that, I'm gonna reach out to you and be like, you were right. So now I want to know what else you're thinking. But Ruslan, thank you so much for being on the show. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're super busy. I'd love to give you the opportunity here to let everyone know where they can find out more about you and, of course, more about Zipchat.
Yeah, you guys can find Zipchat on the Shopify App Store if you're running Shopify, or you can find it on zipchat.ai, and you're going to find all the information that's needed there. If you want to learn more about me, you can just type my name into Google or Perplexity or ChatGPT, and you're going to find my blog. I write about my journey there. Might be interesting. And yeah.
Perfect. Ruslan, thank you so much for being on the show. Everyone who tuned in, of course, thank you as well. Please make sure you do the usual, rate, review, subscribe, all that fun stuff on whichever podcast platform you prefer, or head over to the ecommshow.com to check out all of our previous episodes. And as usual, I appreciate you all joining. We'll see you all next time. Have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in to the E-Comm Show. Head over to ecommshow.com to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform or on the BlueTuskr YouTube channel. The E-Comm Show is brought to you by BlueTuskr, a full-service digital marketing company specifically for e-commerce sellers looking to accelerate their growth. Go to BlueTuskr.com now for more information. Make sure to tune in next week for another amazing episode of The E-Comm Show.